Hello everybody. Welcome to your weekly messages for June 5th to the 11th. I am grabbing a couple more decks. We'll see what I use today. And we'll use these two. I know that there is still some people who are going to be hopping on. I'm going to keep it minimal today, not anything crazy. So we'll see how this goes. And hello if you're hopping on. Say hi. I hope you're doing well. Let's see, we'll have some fun stuff today. Hello everybody. Hi, a lot of you are hopping on today. Hello. Okay. I'm going to pull some oracle cards. First, business as usual. Okay, first thing first, we have feminine. So this is thinking about divine femininity. How does it influence your life? What is coming up for you around femininity? So think about yin. Think about the gentle receptivity, the way that you're able to harness this for yourself. How are you using this to your advantage? And how are you recognizing that and honoring that in other people? Okay, then we also have an affirmation card. Let's see. No judgment. I release myself from any and all judgments. I find my inner critic, call it into my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that guy anyway? Okay, so really taking a step back from judgment. That's been coming up a lot this week. I know for myself, for other people, there's a lot coming up around judgment. So really think about where that shows up for you in your own life. And hello, everybody who's hopping on. Nice to see you all. And I'm going to do a Celtic cross today. And then we'll do some other fun stuff too, as usual. All right, and then the outcome of the week, last but not least. Okay. Let's see what's coming up. The central energy for the week, Knight of Rods. What are you working on? What creative projects? What are you getting done? This is a huge indication of movement. We do have Gemini, which is pretty heady. It's Gemini season, so it kind of comes with the territory to overthink things, maybe procrastinate, get stuck in a rabbit hole. That kind of comes with air quality, especially Gemini. So this actually looks like there's going to be a surge of, moving forward. The Knight of Rods is able to get things done in a really significant way. So it looks like motivation is back on the table. It seems like last week was more cultivating ideas and brainstorming. It looks like this is more about getting things done and making things happen. The crossing energy is the Page of Pentacles. This has come up, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, but this is like you initiating those ideas. So if, I don't remember exactly what we had last week, but if there was a lot of initiation energy last week, then it's kind of like, okay, you have another chance. That came up in yesterday's message as well. Yes, this is an all signs reading, so it is for everybody. But what that means is if you've been procrastinating, if you haven't been getting things done, if you haven't done the things that you want to do, this is where you really have an opportunity to make it happen, because you already have the brainstorm, you already have the inspiration. Now it's about action, and it looks like you have the right recipe to do that. What's shifting out this week is the Three of Rods. This looks like overwhelm. So what I mean by that is with the Three of Rods, you can kind of see how he's looking out at how vast everything is. And with that, it can be overwhelming, like, oh no, I have so much to do. There's so much work. There's so much this, there's so much that. And the way we do that is in order to keep ourselves safe, to not move forward with plans, to not move forward with progress, to avoid the pain of getting things done, because there is a certain level of pain that's associated with it relative to sitting on the couch, eating chips, and watching TV, which is far less painful and is more numbing. As fun and enjoyable as it can be, it doesn't contribute to productivity a lot of the time. So a lot of the times we'll make the things that we have to do seem and feel bigger than they actually are. Okay, and then the oncoming energy for the week is the Six of Pentacles, reciprocity, reciprocation between the people and communication that you have around you. I'm going to clarify this one. Okay, we'll see what exactly is that about. Okay, and this is the Two of Cups. Okay, so this is about partnership, or Two of Hats in this deck. Oh, this is the Morgan Greer Tarot, to answer your question. But for this, it's like you're really going to be examining reciprocation within the communication spaces and the partnerships that you currently have. These don't have to be romantic, although the Two of Cups traditionally represents romantic partnerships, but it could be business partnerships. It could be working on the things that you do want and need in a relationship. So that is really what's coming to the surface this week. Okay, so this looks good. It's like the evaluation, and then you're really going to be able to see who is shining through, who is showing up, who is able to meet you and match you. Okay, and this is also about owning their own baggage. So you're going to see like who's falling away, who's not making the cut, and who is. Okay, and then the outward manifestation, we have the Three of Pentacles. You have to do the work and get things done too. It's not just one-sided. It is a whole effort. There's a lot more going on than what you can see right now, but it just looks like there's a lot of heavy lifting. But I think this is about perception more than anything else. Okay, and then the clarifier for that is the King of Oysters. So this is the King of Pentacles. I think you know that your work is going to pay off. You know that the efforts that you make in communication, projects, giving an effort is going to have a payoff. For at the very least, it's going to pay off in terms of clarity, right? So if you have clarity, then there's going to be resolution to whatever it is you're working towards. Okay, so however that's working for you, you can't go wrong by giving certain things effort as long as it's appropriate, right? Safety and safety is big for this. So you don't want to invest into a black hole necessarily, or in toxic people, but really looking at how are you going to get clarity out of it. And this is in the subconscious. We have the Ten of Cups. Things are probably much, much, much better than they seem. That is what's coming up for this. So if you're having a rough week, if you're having a bad day, if this has been a really challenging time for you, it does seem that things are a lot easier and they're a lot better than what you might be allowing yourself to perceive. from your side of the table, and that's okay. Just remember that things are going to improve. They are going to get better. But you have to be open to that, right? You have to be open to things getting better. You have to be open to your belief systems being challenged, that, you know, not everything falls apart every single time. So the more you can open up to that, the more space you're going to create for the right opportunities, the right people, the right relationships, the right things in your life. The advice for you this week is the Seven of Cups. This is about doing things differently, trying different options, you know, feeling different things out. You don't have to stick to one plan. You don't have to listen to one person's advice. Some people have more sound advice than others. So maybe you're exploring by unpacking with different people or asking people different opinions and thoughts and ideas, and that's okay. But remember, you can still own your crown. You can pick and choose the parts of that insight that you like and that you appreciate and toss out the rest. It's okay. You don't have to use all of it, and you don't have to, not all of it is valid either. And the external influences for the week, we have the Five of Cups. Let me clarify that one, because that's not a situation. This is pointing back to perception once again. So it's kind of like this is a big perception card, because you can see he's staring at the cups that are spilled, but there are two that are standing up behind him. And so it's kind of like you want to tell him, will you turn around, please? Because that would help you. Okay, let me clarify this to see what that's really about. The Fool. Okay, so this definitely looks like you have the opportunity to do new things and try things differently and have, you know, just a fresh start in a lot of ways, even if that's just the approach rather than the circumstances. It's not always going to be a new job or a new relationship or a new, you know, you're not necessarily hitting the reset button. This is about your insight and perception. And if you are realizing that there's a new way to do things, you might be resistant to actually having things go well, or you might be resistant to doing things a different way because you've done them for so long and you're entrenched in a pattern. There are so many different ways that this can go. Just remember that how you think about it matters a lot. It matters so much, and there are things that you can do to make adjustments in your life to improve the quality of things no matter the circumstances. Okay, and then in Hopes and Fears, you have the Four of Pentacles. This is scarcity mindset. So feeling like resources are not available or accessible to you is something that, you know, I think we all kind of have that primal need, but we're not used to how we're living in a world where there is excess in a lot of ways. There are so many abundant opportunities and resources. Our primal brains haven't really clicked in to that in a lot of ways, and so we still get stuck in the scarcity as a collective. No matter how many relationships, no matter how much money, no matter how much you do have, it can still get sticky. So this just looks like an old pattern that you're working with, but again, we go back to perception being kind of in the driver's seat this week. So don't forget that. Your work is going to pay off. You have the right recipe to get things done, but it's about the way that you think and the way you see things. So what lens are you wearing this week? That is the question that I have for you. And then the outcome of the week, we have the Knight of Swords. It looks like you actually come up with your own ideas and your own remedies. It's not something that is going to just, it's not going to be delivered to you necessarily. It's something that you're going to have to patchwork yourself. I'm going to pull a clarity card for this with a different deck. So let's see, for the outcome of the week. Yeah, so this is you're doing things differently. It looks like you're carving your own path. So do you see this death card is very, very specific. So you can see how he's on a horse charging ahead. And that is, I'm moving forward come hell or high water. I'm doing things how I want to. And it's about being reborn, essentially. Like the old ways of thinking and being are being set aside, and now you have this opportunity to innovate your approach. And it's going to come from, you know, the patchwork of your past experiences, the things that you've kind of gathered and collected from other people, as well as recognizing what you need to adjust. All of those things are going to fit into one cohesive plan where you can implement a new paradigm for yourself. So this looks good. It's, you know, this week is begging for change. You got to try something different this week wherever you see fit. Okay? Whether that be physical, mental, a different practice, going back to an old one, whatever feels right for you. Okay, we have a 3-card pick. So you guys know the drill. You are welcome to ask a question for yourself. You can pick a card for guidance. You can wait until I flip them over. Whatever you want to do is totally at your discretion. Okay, card number 1, Justice. This came up in one of the daily readings this past week. And the interesting thing about this is how much it points to blending. It's not, you know, one or the other. It's both sides of the coin. It's both areas of, or both sides of the situation. It really is about taking a balanced perspective and being skeptical about the assumptions and beliefs that you already have. They may not be real. It may have been something that served you in the past that you've outgrown, or that's actually causing a detriment in present time. So just pay attention and be skeptical of what used to work for you, because things could be changing for you. Card number 2, we have the Empress. Again, we have that divine femininity, same as up here. This is about the archetype of the mother. How are you nurturing and caring and kind? How are you leading with compassion? How are you leading with being a nurturer and being nurturing without being codependent? Those are two separate things. So enabling and, you know, having a lack of boundaries is not in alignment with the Empress. That is, the Empress knows how to lovingly set boundaries. The Empress knows how to hold space for people without carrying the burden of their problems. And so make sure that you are really paying attention to that very, very fine difference between the two. Okay, and card number 3, we have the 2 of Wands, collaboration. Collaboration is the first word that came up for that. So remember that the way that you approach conflict, the way that you approach problem solving is all a form of collaboration. So even if you are experiencing resistance with other people, there is an in that you have where you can collaborate, and that's part of what helps solve problems. Okay, and then I'm going to pull a few cards from the Sovereign Oracle just as some fun bonus cards. Okay, and then how these cards work is there's one word and then 3 phrases that go along with it. So just listen to your own intuition, what's resonating as I pull these. Some are going to resonate and some aren't, okay? So whatever you need to hear, pay attention to your body. First, we have expertise. An expert may be required to proceed further. Acknowledge what you've learned. Share what you know. Visit your own inner repository before you seek new studies. Okay, so this is going back to what it is that you know, or finding someone who has more of a knowledge base than you do to proceed. Okay, and then we also have taboo. Take on the role of the sacred rebel, release the need to make others comfortable, explore the fringes with pride, especially if it makes you nervous. Try something new. This is screaming for you to try something new. Do something different. Really, it all comes back to this. This Five of Cups is totally your perception. And the Fool is saying, hey, your discomfort means you need to change something and you need to do something differently. If you are welcome to stay in the Five of Cups as long as you'd like. You have every right to stay here. But what this is suggesting is that you push yourself. And if you're not going to do that, you can't expect different results. So remember that if you are clear and grounded in your decision, and even if trying something new comes with a risk, you could actually obtain the things that you want. Don't forget that. Okay, and then we also have gratitude. Notice your supports. Appreciate your own willingness to do the work. Give thanks for all that's coming your way. Okay, I also like the expression, show appreciation and gratitude for the manifestation before it makes its way to you. And that is a big part of manifestation, as well as is just to give thanks ahead of time. Okay, and then I'm going to pull one more of these. Vulnerability. Wrapping up on a good one. Okay. Take the first uncomfortable step. Don't wait for others. Tell someone how you feel. Be responsible as you do it. Lead others through the pulsing of your open heart. Okay, so definitely that first one I think applies to this entire reading. Take the first uncomfortable step. Don't wait for others. And so that is absolutely what needs to be done this week. I think that is kind of a universal truth for people right now, or at least my viewers. All right, so that is all that I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this reading as much as I've enjoyed reading for you. And until next time, have a beautiful week, everybody. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.